Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Tuesday, December 20th, 22 holiday council meeting. We want to wish all of you a Merry Christmas and a very happy and healthy New Year. I will call this meeting to order. With that, ask our very astute mayor if he would lead us in a blessing, followed by the pledge of allegiance.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Please bow with me. Lord, we really appreciate all you've done for us this year. We have one of the best communities, I think, in the world. We've got a great staff. We've got a great citizens. We ask that you keep watching over us and bring us into the new year and remember why this is truly the season and it's to honor you. I'd like to close with a Christmas prayer by Robert Louis Stevenson. Loving Father, help us remember the birth of Jesus, that we may share in the song of angels, the gladness of shepherds, and the worship of wise men. Close the door of hate and open the door to love all over the world. Let kindness come with every gift and good desire with every greeting. Deliver us from evil by blessing which Christ brings, and teach us to be merry with clear hearts. May the Christmas morning make us happy to thy children, and the Christmas evening bring us to our beds with grateful thoughts, forgiving and forgiven. For Jesus Christ's sake, amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mayor Chu. Let's go ahead and start up having a roll call. Mrs. Haley?
Mayor Shute.
Here.
Bishop.
Here.
Carlisle.
Here.
Mendel.
Here.
Stewart.
Here.
Detman.
Here. Next item on the agenda is business from the audience procedure. If you have anything you would like to discuss with us this evening that is not on tonight's agenda, please come up, at the front table here. Grab yourself one of these pieces of paper, fill it out, give it to Clerk Haley, and we'll call you up later on in the agenda. Looks like mayor's report.
I really don't have a lot to report. Been a lot of little Christmas events, and
Town's been great,
downtown's been beautiful.
well attended.
The flea market's been great. Got a lot of good things going on. Christmas is here, so got to play Santa Claus at Woodlawn. So
You did?
yes, in the fire department. So
Wow.
had a good time, but it's a great time of year, and we need to enjoy it and just be thankful that we're out where we are.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Council members' concerns, comments, and liaison reports. Ladies first.
Thank you. I just wanted to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. And again, I say we're so blessed to live here in Highlands County in the beautiful state of Florida. And just wish you a most wonderful holiday time, remembering why we celebrate the birth of our wonderful Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. So thankful. And on the way of reports, I did check with Mac McLean, and they're still working on the bat issue. He's making a lot of calls and very hopeful that we get that settled. I did check with some of the downtown people, and there's still quite a bit of unsettled behavior by the middle schoolers that are causing a problem in the downtown area, harassing the downtown merchants. And so hopefully that will be fixed in time. I think something should be done there. And I wanted to thank our Public Works Department and Stephen Kramer for the beautiful decorations in our city. It just looks so lovely, and it's a joy to go around the city and the neighborhoods. And the Christmas tree, the Christmas lake parade was just amazing. So thank you.
Yes, it was. Thank you, Ms. Mendel. Mr. Stewart.
No report.
No, you sure?
Yeah, positive.
Mr. Carlisle.
Well, I just want to say Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to everyone. Hope we can start off with a great next year.
Mr. Bishop.
Not much. We did have a CRA meeting last week. Two major takeaways are on our agenda tonight, so I'm not going to steal
Okay.
their thunder.
Okay.
But that's really it.
Very good, thank you. And just in response to Mrs. Mendel's concern about the soda shop, I made it a point of last week riding by there on 2 different days, 2 school days. And on both of those days, within a very short window of time, I mean, I'm just driving through, our downtown CRA police officer, Ray Rossi, was in the vicinity.
Wonderful.
So that was real good.
So will that be like is that a full-time position or what?
Yes, yeah,
Oh, wow.
CRA officer.
I'd heard that was a possibility, but I'm very grateful to hear that.
He actually wears 2 hats. He takes care of the entire downtown area patrol-wise and takes reports, I think, and the other part is he's our evidence custodian, and I believe takes care of all of that. He still does that, right, Carl? Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Part-time CRA officer, for clarification.
so there you go. So part-time CRA officer, full-time police officer, and he does the cut it,
Wonderful.
the evidence.
Thank you.
I'm through the circle about 3:45
That's about right.
every day
That's about right.
to pick up my daughter from the church, and he is there every day.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And I went 2 nights last week to the Lights on a Circle, and he was there both
Yeah,
nights.
I actually stopped and talked to him.
Yeah.
He's a good man.
Oh, that's great to hear. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Well, it looks like we have a consent agenda here. You'll take a look through that and see if there's anything that you want to discuss or pull off of there, or make a recommendation from the audience. Yes, ma'am? Might you be Ada McGowan? Item C.
What?
The- Yes, ma'am.
Ada McGowan for the record. I want to say this is for the Martin Luther King parade. Can you hear me?
Go ahead and pull it down a little bit
Okay.
closer to you. There you go.
I have bronchitis, so you guys are blessed. This is for the Martin Luther King parade, but I want to say this, if it's okay. I don't want to be out of line, but I want to say thank you to the city of Sebring, to the firefighters, the police officers, to the board. When we had our last meeting up on the corner, from then, now it's been a little bit of mishaps, but y'all take it as you wish. I've been getting bad remarks from some of our people because they said I took the dope off the street. Well,
Because of why?
I took the dope off the street.
Oh, praise God.
So when y'all came up like flies and everybody got scared, they know that we mean business, and I appreciate that from you. The decorations that we haven't had since I've been in Sebring, and I've been here over 40 years, Kathy. We have some, and we appreciate it. I was holding my breath saying, oh God, don't let these bad brats untie the things from the decorations, but they're still there, and it's still making our community look better. I wish I had the pictures that I tried to download for the Christmas toy. It was awesome. I asked God for 50, He gave me over 60. And I thank you guys so much. I know this is not on the record, but y'all know I got a big mouth, and I want to just say something while I can. For the parade, if you see any way possible, we would love for you guys to be a part of it, 2023 Martin Luther King Jr. Parade, because it's not only are we getting better, but we're getting bigger. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Ms. McGowan. Appreciate it.
Oh, Miss Ada, I have a question. Any movement on getting the fence for the memorial?
Yes, ma'am, we're getting, as a matter of fact, today they called me and said they needed to have the survey so they can go ahead on and
Oh,
put it
wonderful.
down there.
Wonderful.
Yes, ma'am. And again, for the monument, thank you guys, we appreciate you.
Anybody else want to comment on any of the 6 items on the consent agenda? If not, entertain a motion.
Make a motion that we accept the consent agenda as proposed.
I have a motion,
I second it.
and I have a second from Mrs. Mendel. Any other discussion? Kathy, call the roll.
Bishop.
Yes.
Carlisle.
Yes.
Mendel.
Yes.
Stewart.
Yes.
Stetman.
Yes. Seeing no old business on tonight's agenda, I'll go right into new business. I will open up a public hearing at this point. The public hearing is regarding pursuant to sections 163, 380 of Florida statutes and other applicable law. City Council will receive public input on the Downtown Sebring Community Redevelopment Agency's proposal and proposed disposal of its real property located at 305 Circle Park Drive and 250 Wall Street, Sebring, Florida, for less than fair market value, and whether City Council should approve such a disposition. Should we have Mr. Lydell come up and go ahead and take care of that? Come on up, Mr. Lydell, and go ahead and go through the CRA process and timeline, if you might.
Good evening, David Lydell, Chair of the Sebring CRA. Before you tonight is our recommendation to dispose of 305 Circle Park Drive and 250 Wall Street to Gentleman Restaurant Services LLC, otherwise known as Chef Mac. His proposal is to put in there a kind of a fast casual Southwestern style restaurant. And we had a selection committee that went through all the proposals we received. I believe there were 18 of them. We narrowed it down, we conducted interviews, and then there was a recommendation from the committee to the board to choose the proposal before you tonight. And our board voted unanimously to go forward with that. You also have the agreement that's been voted on and approved by the CRA, the terms that we will use to execute that.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any public input here? Comments, questions, concerns? Anything you'd like to discuss on this proposal?
Chef Mack is here too.
I'm sorry?
I said Chef Mack is here.
Yes, Chef Mack is here, and by the way, he has contributed to a few of the excess calories that I have consumed over the years, and he does an excellent job, let me say that, for whatever it's worth. He really does. Very, very tasteful. So, any public comments, concerns, or questions? Last call on that one. Council's questions, comments.
So I'm thrilled. I think it's the right choice, and I think this will be a welcome addition to the downtown, and I'm on board completely.
I think it's a real good addition to downtown.
I'm glad to
Gentlemen?
see things happening downtown.
Yep.
You know, and waking our town up.
Absolutely.
So, welcome.
Mayor, any comments?
No, I think it's an excellent
Oh,
choice.
this is going way too easy. Okay, well, at that, I will adjourn the public hearing. The CRA requests council's approval as presented, as the CRA can only enter into the lease option agreement with Gentleman Restaurant Services LLC with city council's approval. There are several attachments on here if anyone's interested, if you've read them. 4 of them, with a notice to intent to dispose of real property, Gentleman Restaurant Services, a response to the notice of intent to dispose, the proposed lease option agreement in itself, and a notice of public hearing, which we just concluded. So, any comments from the audience? Last call on that. Okay, let's see if we can get a motion.
I make a motion, we approve the lease option agreement with Gentleman Restaurant Services LLC for the CRA owned property at 305 Circle Park Drive and 250 Wall Street, and the disposal for less than fair market value as presented.
Here we have a motion.
Second.
We have a motion from the liaison to the CRA, Mr. Bishop. Any further discussion up here? Kathy, it's your turn.
Bishop,
Yes.
Carlisle,
Yes.
Mendel,
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
Bettman.
Yes. Chef Mack, I've always known you as Chef Mack. My question is your last name Gentleman a real name, or did you have your name changed at some point in your life?
That is my given name.
Okay. Well, I was born a suspicious person, being a policeman all those years, so I'm just wondering if that's an alias and we need to really check you out.
Great grandfather from Scotland.
Oh, great. Wonderful.
And it's very applicable, thank you.
Okay. Under new business, item B, CRA property disposition, 305, wait a minute.
We
What
combined
happened?
that.
We
10B is
combat
now
10B,
this.
I'm sorry. Yep. The disposition of the old Wachovia Bank building. David, there you are. Please, give us the entire background on this line and verse, please.
You got it. David Liddell, Board Chair for the CRA. We are in receipt of a letter from the Blackman Group who has expressed interest in the old Wachovia Bank building. As you might recall, we purchased the building back in 2019, I believe it was. It was in a vacant building at the time, and we went through kind of a process of trying to determine what was going to be the best use for this. We started having conversations with council. Should it be a park? Could it be repurposed into a city hall? And I know that the city has spent some time and money investigating that. But before we go any further, we wanted to bring this letter to you all to kind of see where you're at, what your temperature is. Do you think you will continue to move forward to City Hall, or would you rather see a private developer come in? There's a couple of issues on our side that kind of come up from all of this. I mean, we had visioned this as being, pretty potentially another city, or the new City Hall. But to have interest from a private developer who could put it back on the tax rolls, that's changes things a little bit. So we wanted to find out from council what your intentions were at this point, and what your opinion kind of is regarding it, and so we can figure out a direction that we're going to move.
Can you tell us what their plans are?
Sure. What they've submitted to us is and it's the same group that's working on Harder Hall. So they have a vision of trying to tie the Harder Hall resort property to the downtown area. They don't have enough space over where Harder Hall is for like their operations offices and whatnot. So they've suggested a restaurant on the first floor of the Wachovia building. They have contacted a restaurateur from the Tampa area. They've described it as being a more upscale restaurant, but they haven't given us kind of the inclination of who it might be. Second floor would be their offices, and then the third floor would be overflow conference space for the Harder Hall, and potentially other offices if there were other businesses that wanted to put or rent an office space up there. They've asked us to, they like the waterfront design plan that we had been working on, and one of their requests was that we install floating docks down at the waterfront so that they could provide a water taxi between the Harder Hall property and the downtown. They would like to see that kind of drawn together and utilized as our town begins to grow.
David, my only question is, my understanding was what they want to develop on the property did not include the parking lot to the east side of the Wachovia Bank building. Is that correct?
They would want the entire property, but they're looking to just redevelop the building itself. They wouldn't be expanding it.
Okay. What would we do with the remaining portion of the property? I mean, they have to have parking there.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they will utilize it for parking, yes.
Okay, so,
Yes.
and part of the lease agreement could be that they would have access to that parking area, and we would maintain that?
We have not gotten into the details of the negotiation of how this
You're not that
lands.
far along yet.
My belief is that they would want the entire parcel, and that they would utilize the entire parcel. They would be responsible for maintaining the parking lot. It would not be a public parking lot anymore. It would be their parking lot. And the lease that we would be, I don't know if this is lease agreement or if this is some kind of other transfer of title. We had that problem with the Nancessory property. We couldn't lease the property because of the development issues, but we haven't gotten to that.
Right. I don't know about anybody else, but I kind of like the idea of leaving it as a public parking lot, not anyone park there, even if they want to use the restaurant, just like they would the public parking right in front of that building. That's just my thought. Unless it's a maintenance issue or something like that. But I mean, I think all we're looking for tonight, though, is to allow you to move forward, if you will, and come up with a plan that you will bring back to us and see if it flies.
This evening, kind of the direction the board has tasked us with is to find out, can we move forward and negotiate with them, or are there other restrictions that, we had always said to y'all that we were kind of giving you the first right of this thing, and you've been working on it, we know, so we don't know.
Right.
We need to find out what your feelings are.
Well, I mean, I kind of like the concept of, the reason we wanted to move down there was because it brought more people to downtown. Basically created more traffic flow in that, and so I think that was a noble cause of ours to do that. But if we can keep that thing on the tax rolls,
Oh, yeah.
you have more traffic that being drawn by the restaurant. I think the only thing that we just need to look at is how do we protect ourselves or protect the property, to make sure that this stuff is done. How do we go through there? What restrictions, like the parking lot, if it's available for public parking or part of it is public parking, I think they'd probably be very open to that. At certain times of night, because, it'd be a restaurant at night, so you're gonna have that. So I think that's just, we need to structure something that's, if it doesn't happen, how does it come back to us? Or what are the kickers that say, okay, this is the next step, next step, next step? And I think that's what we really have to be cautious on, that we don't give a building away or sell a building for a nominal fee and then lose the building altogether, so.
We would not want to see that happen. I mean, we would
So I
we would
think
definitely
we
want
just have to be careful that we have some kind of caution
Milestones.
and restrictions in place.
absolutely.
So,
Yeah, we
and I
learned that
think
the hard way.
I think they would be very open to that, and for somebody that paid $4 million for Harder Hall and now is gonna put a roof on it, new windows and tenant, I think they're gonna be pretty serious about being at Sebring, and I think they're gonna be an excellent partner and kind of a catalyst to what happens, in the future. If they can pull all this together, which I believe they can, they have the resources to do it. They've been in that business, that type of business. I think it's gonna be a boost for our community. It's gonna be a boost for downtown to having that kind of, from talking to the Blackman, so I understand that it is gonna be a higher end restaurant. An evening type restaurant, so, but I think that will bring more people downtown also.
I do, and they seem to be a very good, champion for the downtown and the Sebring
Well,
area
it's
in
really a
general.
champion for Highlands County. You talk to them and
Yes.
they have huge plans for the whole area. And, just as the vision and the contacts that they have from that St. Pete, Tampa area are just tremendous. My daughter went to school with Robert Blackman at FSU. And, but they said they're very well connected in St. Pete. They've been a catalyst for a lot of things that have happened over there. And I think they have a vision of Sebring. They want to see Sebring. They think it's going to be kind of like the Jewel in Central Florida. That the coastal communities are so full, but they're coming over here, and there's a lot of people from St. Pete that are interested, and actually have bought some properties over here to do some things with.
Yeah.
But they'll be a great partner for our community.
Yes.
I think so too. I'm real excited about the Blackman Group. I'm glad that Chief Detman brought up about the parking lot, because I think it would be wonderful if we could partner with the Blackman Group, maybe to keep that parking lot available publicly. I know it's going to impact the fire station and some of the events they put on during the day, and maybe something could be worked out with them. But I think we're very blessed to have the Blackman Group take such a wonderful interest in Sebring, and so glad to see that they're saving Harder Hall. That's just amazing.
We've got an ancestry law we could turn into a parking lot.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. If we happen to lose that parking lot, can we make a parking lot out of the Nancesaway property and put public restrooms there? The plumbing's gotta be there. And we have no really public restrooms downtown other than behind the police station.
Right.
So, and you could make it where you could drive through it and go to the back parking lot as well. I like the idea of getting it back on the tax rolls.
Yep.
I was excited about City Hall being there. For the biggest reason is waking up that end of town, but if they'll come in and do what they want to do, they'll do the same thing, and we'll get it back on the tax roll. So I think it's a great idea. I do hate to lose the parking, but, and maybe we won't, but maybe we can look at the Nancesaway property.
I mean, I'm sure that, at the stage we're at right now, having that conversation about a parking lot is not a problem at all.
Right.
I suspect you're looking into parking elsewhere, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I'm in agreement with
Good.
them being on board with this building. I think that the eventual cost, if we were to move City Hall down there, the numbers are exorbitant. I think probably running about $3 million to $4 million, and I think it'd be really hard sell to the public if we decided to do that. And putting it back on the tax rolls makes sense to me, so I'm on board.
Okay.
And I guess just to kind of add on to that, Mark, for public consumption, you know, the city has property right around the city hall right here, right next door.
Well, those are gonna be pickleball courts.
Well, but not all of them. There's always a possibility that we can expand the city hall, whether it be out or up, but, when we need it. But to spend $3 or $4 million in that range of your tax dollars right now, probably under all of the circumstances that are happening in the financial world, probably not a great idea. So we're gonna pass on that and put the ball in your court and hope Mr. Blackman and his dad come through.
Well, you have to put it out to bid.
And you sure
Yeah, you
oh,
have to go through
absolutely.
that disposition
Yeah,
process like
absolutely.
you've
Yeah, we
done.
gotta go through the regular process. I mean, we're not trying to cut any corners or
I'll kind of
anything.
open it up to,
So what happened, the board voted to go ahead and give staff the flexibility, depending upon what council came up with tonight, to begin that 30-day, or if it needed to be longer, with the holidays, staff has the discretion to go ahead and make that determination. The minimum time is 30 days. So
Right.
my guess would be that they will probably choose to open that window later this week.
Right, that would be great. Now, what are Blackman's gonna do if Burns Steakhouse says we wanna move in downtown too?
probably partner with them.
Maybe they will. Go forth and do good things, I guess. Do we need a motion on this, Mr.?
You don't have to, but I think CRA wants clear guidance as to whether you want to move forward with City Hall there, and they don't want to have any, miscommunication on that point.
Okay, well, we can do that. The recommended action might work well if somebody wants to go ahead and make a motion. Well, before we do that, I'm sorry. Public needs to chime in. Anybody want to talk about this? It's a big deal. No?
Harder Hall was a big deal.
Yeah,
Also,
big
A
deal.
real big deal. As a matter of fact, just for the record, last night I got a call from Gary Puckett around 8:30, 9 o'clock. And you all know that Gary Puckett's been through 2 owners over there, and just an exacerbating situation over the years. But he was on the phone with Robert Blackman last night for over an hour. He said they had some wonderful conversations, and he's packaging up all the records that he had accumulated over the years from his office up in North Carolina. He's gonna ship them to my post office box, and I will get them to Mr. Blackman.
Good.
So, it's nice that everybody's sharing whatever information is available out there, and probably didn't know this, but they put a whole roof on that back then. It's unbelievable.
Yes, they did.
And
among
they,
other things.
and they did it all restoration wise and,
Yeah.
crown molding and everything
Yeah.
that had it unbelievable.
There were some issues.
Yep. Anything else from the public? Anybody at home wanna call in? Anybody wanna make a motion up here?
I make a motion, we approve of the CRA moving forward with the disposition of the old Wachovia Bank building to allow for a private redevelopment of property.
Okay.
Second.
And we got a second from the liaison to the CRA, Mr. Bishop. Last time, folks. Kathy, call the roll.
Bishop,
Yes.
Carlisle,
Yes.
Mendel,
Yes.
Stewart.
Yes.
Detman.
Yes, absolutely.
If I could make one last comment too.
Yes, please.
The Christmas decorations that are around on the circle, those were funded by the CRA. And Christy and her staff are the ones that had worked with Public Works to get them all set up and put together and out there, so.
Nice
just wanted y'all
job.
to-
Oh,
to-
thank
Nice
you.
job by
Thank
both
you.
of the entities.
Yeah.
Public Works, thank you. CRA, thank you. Christie, thank you. Everything looks great. Business from the audience is item number 11. I think we only have one person that's put in for it. And keeping with the holiday season, Reverend George Miller, hopefully the kinder, gentler.
I hear you on that one.
It's Christmas.
So, good evening, everyone. My name is Reverend George Miller. And as we can all acknowledge, the first time I attended one of these meetings, I came in with an assumption, and it was a completely wrong assumption. I assumed the meeting was going to be Democrat versus Republican. But over the months and after watching the last city council meeting, what I'm coming to realize is that it's not that at all. It's actually Democrat and Republican coming together to deal with the fact that we actually have a very dangerous spirit that has come on to council that is becoming anti-American and very fascist. First, I want to give thanks to our mayor, and I want to give thanks to our city lawyer and our chief of police, and for all of those on council who have stayed true to the Republican call to be fiscally responsible, to have small government, and to encourage local businesses from growing. Second, I want to share a warning about councilperson Terry Mendel, who is clearly a threat to the welfare of Sebring. Her behavior at the last meeting was absolutely embarrassing to watch. She disrespected our police chief, our state attorney, and the members of council. I want to say thank you, council, for being able to stand your ground and being able to say what needed to be said. That councilperson Terry Mendel is absolutely obsessed with the cat sows. But I want to share with you the real reason why she's obsessed, and it has nothing to do with burlesque. Her real goal is to silence the LGBT community and anyone and any business or any government board that welcomes the LGBT community and doesn't treat them like trash. In other words, she is attempting to bring in an ultra far-right value that is more akin to fascism than it is democracy. At council meetings, she pretends to be this inept grandmotherly figure who is one of us. But the truth is, she's really playing a game, and a game in which she doesn't follow the rules. At a Film Tea Party meeting, we heard her belittle council. We also heard her send people her home email address when she knew she was only supposed to give her government email address. Most concerning is the fact that she's contacted Liberty Counsel for legal advice.
30 seconds, sir.
Liberty Counsel is a religious organization that is listed as a hate group. They come in the cities to silence any group or people or event that doesn't meet their far-right views. They oppose LGBT protection. They've had libraries not do presentations. They have sued schools because they changed lyrics to songs. And they have sued any organization that called itself a hate group.
Your 3 minutes is up, sir.
Thank you very much.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Reverend.
I would like
Okay.
to reply back. My reply back would be yikes. I think that you're way off base. As a Bible-believing Christian, I definitely believe in other people's rights. Our Jehovah God does not force his way onto anyone. However, our country was clearly founded on Judeo-Christian values. And it has been a wonderful success for our country. It has been an exercise in trying to elevate the rights of people, eliminate slavery, eliminate prejudice, eliminate hate. And I am just so grateful to be able to be on the city council and to stand up for what is right in a biblical way, not to twist the Bible in any way, shape, or form, but to stand firm on the basis of a biblical government, which is the best ever. You look at other countries, they are fighting to get into America. Poor people are crossing the river to get into America. America has had its faults, but it is a wonderful, wonderful country. And it became a wonderful country because it was a righteous, God-fearing country, not a perfect country. And I'm not a perfect person, but I certainly have nothing but love for each and every citizen in our city and our county. I may disagree with them, but I have not in any way, shape, or form taken on hate or anything like that. I'm here to serve our community, whether I disagree with you or not. And I'm very grateful for this opportunity. but God will not be mocked. We need to be very, very careful. Safety, peace, security, all comes from following His word. And we need to be careful when we twist that around. And I appreciate you speaking your mind, even though, of course, I disagree with you. But thank you, and Merry Christmas.
Okay, item number 12 here. Okay, I don't see any city attorney business.
No, sir, thank you.
I see, I don't see any city administrators. What do you do for a living? I'll trade you paychecks.
No, sir, I have not. Just
All
like
right.
to wish mayor and council, staff, and the public a Merry Christmas.
Well, thank you, and same to you. Well, Kathy, I know you're always last. You shouldn't be, but
It's fine.
it's
I
your
can take
job,
it.
and
I can take it.
go right ahead.
Council needs to approve the paying of the bills, please.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Anybody out there want to talk about anything about paying the bills? If not, Kathy, call the roll, please.
Bishop.
Yes.
Carlisle.
Yes.
Mendo.
Yes.
Stewart.